Man, what's up? Oh, yeah. The game that nobody really talks about. When LeBron and Michael Jordan was on the court at the same time, and they played on opposite teams. I mean, LeBron was about 16, 17. I think he's about 16 or 17, one of them. And at the time, it wasn't like, this is the phenom, this is the future of the NBA. LeBron James. It was, the NBA was grooming him. Okay? Because, I'm trying to watch my show, but you guys keep asking me these questions, and I want to be fair to you guys. So I took a break from my show. I was going to do this live, but if I did it live, we'd probably be here all night. The whole city of Chicago knows the story now, but at the time, nobody really cared because it was all about Mike. Nobody gave a damn about who LeBron James was at 16 years old. Like, nobody cared about him. He was the least important person there. And only because of who LeBron James is now does this even matter. Now, when Michael Jordan was working out to come back to the league, first he hadn't made a decision, but he basically made a decision. He's going to actively pursue it. It started with practices in Washington, playing with his team, the Wizards, practicing with them and shoot arounds and all of these things and playing with some of those guys. And he realized, you know what? I need these guys ain't good enough. You know, they're not. They're just not good enough. We gotta find a way to get some of the world's best players or players who Michael think their game would push him to get him to the level so that he could scrimmage against them to get himself back right. He don't want guys that's gonna basically lag and not do the job and just try to be buddy buddy and talk all the way up and down the court. He don't need homeboys. He need people ready to hoop. So a lot of people were there. Ron Artest, mostly when they came to Chicago, because it was like in a world tour. But when they came to Chicago, he's working out with Tim Grover. That's his lifetime trainer. So when he's working out with Tim, Tim wanted to keep him active and keep his response muscles. If that's gone, then he might as well sit down and don't be Michael Jordan anymore. You know, your reaction time is everything in basketball. So you want some guys with some quick twitch muscles. You want some active bodies. So he's like, you need to be out here with the youngest players in the game because this is the age limit of the NBA right now. You see, and when the age limit is this high, you got to be able to perform at this level or slightly above. You can't play at the age limit. Now, most of these guys are coming in here bright eyed and bushy tailed, so they're very excited to do things fast. Just because they do them fast don't mean they do them right. Your experience will get you there, but your reaction time and how you adjust to their speed, which you're not going to make up for, but your reflexes is going to do it by timing. You have to learn to anticipate their moves. So what Michael is doing while he's playing against these younger guys, he's actually recording data in his head on what guys like to do, what they don't like to do. So the strategy for Michael is not just to hone and sharpen his skill. He's looking for the holes in which he can exploit and still be Michael Jordan. Now, going through this process, LeBron James, they decided to bring out this 16-year-old LeBron James. See, the NBA is interested in bringing this kid in straight out of high school, and no real high schooler come out and make a real big splash. Not even Kobe. Kobe felt he would have, but didn't feel he was given the opportunity. It's very hard as a rookie to come in straight out of high school and just dominate the game. So that wasn't happening here. There was no, we're giving this guy, is not ready, or we're going to wait. So they put him in, the NBA put him in these situations. And you guys don't know, they did it with Kobe too. They let Kobe work out with the Philadelphia 76ers when he was in high school. So when Kobe went to Lower Maryland, he would go and have access to go work out with practices with the Philadelphia 76ers. He played with these guys countless times to see how he would be able to hold up against real NBA basketball players. You see, the NBA was grooming him. So they bring LeBron from Tim Grover called Mav, LeBron, Rich Paul, whatever, whoever was with him at that time. I wouldn't say Rich, but I know Mav Carter was with him. And they were on their way out to Chicago. And they see Mike pull up in the red Ferrari. He comes up in there, got a stogie in his mouth. He pulls on in, and, it's the first time he met Michael. Michael spoke to him for a little bit, gave him some, if you do come to the NBA, these are the steps you're going to need in case you do come. The league is grooming him, and they want to put him in these situations where there's no filming and no recording. There was never any recording in Hoop's gym. So if somebody recorded something in there, they had some real good permission, because there have been plenty of great games in there with great basketball players, and that's what they loved, was the privacy. There was no real cameras in there unless they were authorized, and there was absolutely no video. See, and this before camera phones, so they didn't have to worry about that. There was no recording the games. So a lot of NBA players would come to this court. I mean, you name them, they were there. Isaiah Thomas, Tim Hardaway, Scottie Pippen. Back in the day, this was the place to be. R. Kelly was there. Yeah, yeah. And so anyway, Michael's waiting before he comes in and decides to, get everything going. He's waiting to get his team together and everything else. So guys are just already playing when he gets there. And guys had already played a couple of games or whatever. So Michael shows up, and he comes in. He's talking to his buddy Jamal Crawford. Him and Jamal Crawford kind of close there in their corner talking. Elton Brand comes over and joins Jamal Crawford and those guys, and Ron Artest is playing on the other team with LeBron James. But LeBron comes in, they bring him in the game afterwards. So it was more like, when is the kid going to play? Nobody really thought about him. He was just on the sideline waiting for his opportunity, or will he ever get in? He was just okay seeing things. And Michael kind of wanted him to see how things work. Like, look at how the game is played with professionals, and how we work and how we get around. And then they kind of brought, Tim said, hey, kind of put him in the game. Tim Grover's like, yeah, LeBron, okay, you're in. On the other side, Michael didn't want the 16-year-old kid on his team. One, Michael wanted to win. So as the game is going on, LeBron is guarding Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford is torching LeBron James. I mean, LeBron can't guard him, but the effort is there. He's not rattled. He's not like mentally out of it. That Jamal Crawford is getting by him. So defensively, his footing is way off. Jamal Crawford is crossing him, going to the basket, using left hand, right hand. He couldn't hold Jamal Crawford. Michael was. They switched LeBron. LeBron got caught on a pick or a switch, and he got Michael. Michael's turnaround, fadeaways, bang. Fast break. Michael coming down, hitting reverses, layups. Michael's killing. Then LeBron gets the ball. He takes off. Boom, boom. Explodes to the basket. Gets a layup. Second time, he gets the ball, brings it up. Cross at the top of the key. Gets by Jamal Crawford. Goes all the way. And scores on Elton Brand. Now, guys are like, whoa! And Q Rich was up there, and Q Rich is watching it like, bet. This kid got something. So he was able to hold his own a little bit. He scored, I think he only scored like 3, 4 times. Maybe in the game. But it wasn't like he was there to dominate. Like, we're here to see LeBron James. No, it wasn't that at all. Because no one knew what this kid was capable of. He was about 212 pounds around that time. Kind of lanky, mostly athletic, kind of tall. I think he was probably 6'6" at the time, or at least 6'7". I don't even think he was at his full height yet. So watching the game, you're watching history as gets the ball, he takes LeBron, and he basically hits the fadeaway, and Michael spoke to him at the end of the game and told him, how he felt, being out there with everybody, and like, nah, don't let it overwhelm you. And he's like, you did really good. Mike told him you did really good. And told him, just keep focused and, stay on the straight path, and, you'll have a shot coming to the league. They didn't know about a year later, LeBron would just completely dominate the entire, NBA. I mean, not the NBA, but the high school rankings, and playing the way they did, just running through everybody and making the NBA feel comfortable with putting him in, with just letting him go pro. Like, this kid's going to go pro and we're going to back him. And they made a big deal about it. Because at this time, you got LeBron coming in, you got Kobe and Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson's basically going out. You got all this new crop of talent getting ready to come in. And the other crop of talent that they had weren't paying off. And they're like, man, we got these guys that's just not doing well. The Darius Miles, it was like the high school experiment was failing. And it was like, look, these kids can't play. Let them go to school. We're stuck with this Eddie Curry situation with Tyson Chandler's, and it's like most of these guys weren't ready. It's gonna take years to develop them. So it's like, why are we paying these guys tens of millions of dollars to develop them? And then some might not even ever get it. So the NBA kind of like gave up on Miles a little bit, and they kind of gave up on the high school experiment, and was looking at everybody's going to have to do 1 year of college. But before they did that, LeBron was the standout, and he was going to lead the new generation of the new basketball, the new NBA. Him, Wade, Melo, they were the anchors to usher in this new era. Now, Chris Paul had already been there. Paul is the old statesman of the entire group. But okay, you can slap him on in. But Chris Paul was always, he was always that guy that was gonna just, be there. That's also the same day Ron Artest broke Michael Jordan's ribs. I think the game in Chicago. That's the same. I think it was the same day, not the game when LeBron was in it. I think LeBron was out by that time because Mike and them didn't lose, not a game. Let me repeat that. Michael Jordan did not lose a game. Let me tell you that once again. Michael Jordan did not lose a game. Okay? So let that sink in so you can know which type of guy you're facing, when we talk about Michael Jordan. We're dead serious. He didn't lose a game. And pickup. He was not losing. And Ron was just psycho. He was just playing extra hard, playing like it's the NBA Finals. It's the only way Ron knew how to play. But nobody was going to be on that court that Michael didn't feel comfortable with being there. So, Mike at that time was at a different point in his life. But it slowed Mike. Having his rib broke. That rib being broke cost him 3 months of inactivity. Then he had to come back because he wanted to start the NBA season. And, he just wasn't all the way back just yet from that rib. Then he had a host of other injuries that just showed up just from inactivity and age, for what he was trying to pull off. Once you slow down for like 3 years and try to jump back in, basketball is not designed for you to take time off. It's not that considerable amount of time because your metabolism change and then you got to try to change it back after 3 years. It was rough that time he did of a year and a half, but this is 3 years. And you're trying to just get it all back in a snap. That takes a heck of a restructuring. So, anyway, I'm out. Thank you guys for donating to the page, hitting the Cash App up. My name Carcino on that Cash App. We got 4 videos here you should enjoy. Definitely check out the video that we did earlier with Joe Budden. You're going to love that. There's one about Evander Holyfield you guys should be interested in. And definitely hit up the Patreon, Carcino for Life. Check it out. You get some information that might help clear some things for you on the videos. I'm out.